I bet you get bored, don't you?
Well, you're bored in...
I'm bored.
Life is a bore, I always say.
I think it feels really good to be on your habits. What I mean by that is when you wake up and you just do all the things that you said you're going to do, right? You wake up, you immediately go to your morning routine, you meditate, you read, journal, whatever it is that your routine is, then you go and eat breakfast or you go and hit your exercise, then you get straight to work and you're just like flowing, right? You just wake up and you got this momentum. You didn't wake up and start scrolling on your phone. You just wake up and you start doing what you need to do. It gives you this sense of pride, this sense of joy, this sense of confidence. Yeah, I know what I need to do. And it might seem difficult. It might be easier to just distract myself, but I wake up and I do it and I get things done. And then the whole rest of the day, the whole rest of the evening, you're able to relax completely stress-free because you don't have anything in the back of your mind, these lingering, nagging thoughts telling you that, oh, I still haven't done my studying, or I still haven't done, whatever it is. You're just not stressing, you're not thinking about anything. If you had like a to-do list for today, you just wake up and you just one thing after the other, you cross it all off. But in order to do this, the key, in my opinion, is you have to eliminate distractions. That could be your phone, that could be video games, that could be drinking, that could be drugs, that could be whatever it is for you, whatever your vice is. We know we should be doing something, and then instead of actually doing that thing, we just start doing something else instead, and then we waste an hour or two just doing that other thing. Like you wake up and you go to the bathroom and then you bring your phone with you and you just spend 30 minutes like scrolling TikToks or something. Then you can kind of feel it, right? I'm pretty sure you can feel it, where you just feel a little off center. You feel a little just unbalanced, if you will. But when you remove those distractions and you just sit there, you become bored, right? That's why we distract ourselves, because we don't want to be bored. But when you're bored and you're just sitting there, you wake up and you don't grab your phone, you're just kind of laying there in bed. Well, what are you going to do? You're just going to lay there? Like eventually you're going to want to get up. Eventually you're going to want to make your bed, go use the bathroom, go do something, because going and doing something is better than sitting around being bored and doing nothing. So when you remove the distraction, you remove the escapism, basically is what it is, then you have no choice but to start taking action. You have no choice but to start actually just doing something, because going and doing those difficult tasks on your to-do list is going to be a lot more enjoyable than sitting around doing absolutely nothing. And that's how you get that momentum. You get into this sort of flow state where you're just getting one thing done, and it's like, okay, I got this one thing done, might as well do something else, and then might as well do this third thing, and then you just get all these things done. And then again, that breeds confidence, that breeds self-love, because what happens is you told yourself, okay, tomorrow, today's Thursday, right? And if I told myself tomorrow, Friday, I want to do these 3 things, and I wake up and then I immediately do all 3 of those things, well, now it's like I made this promise to myself. I told myself I was going to do it, and I kept my word. I kept my word to myself, right? I kept my promise to myself. And so that builds self-respect and self-love, because how can you respect yourself if you can't even keep your word to yourself? You can't even keep a promise to yourself. How can you keep a promise or keep your word to someone else? You can't do that with yourself, right? So you're building self-love, you're building self-respect, and that in turn builds confidence. You can look yourself in the eye in the mirror and say, I get shit done, right? The things I say I'm going to do, I stick to my word and I do those things. Over time, you're doing all these good habits, and it becomes really easy because you see the positive effects of it, right? It's like when you're eating healthy, at first it's hard because you're just not used to eating simple foods. You're not used to cooking all your foods, meal prepping, but then you start to feel better. You start to lose weight. You start to feel healthier, and you realize, oh, it's actually nice to do this healthy habit. Or going to sleep. You might be used to staying up late on your phone, and then you kind of force yourself to go to bed earlier. Like you might be going to bed at 1 or 2, and now you start going to bed at 10 or 11. Over time, you start to feel better. You start to feel more rested. You start to wake up earlier, and you actually have more energy throughout the day to get things done. And you're like, oh, this thing that I thought was difficult, going to bed early, it's actually easy, and it's actually enjoyable, and I actually want to do this difficult thing. And oh, wait, it's not so difficult, right? I think what makes it hard is, or at least what makes it seem difficult, is that it's ego death. And when I say ego death, I mean when you're getting rid of old habits that no longer serve you, that no longer help you. It's literally a part of you has to die. Like whether it's, you've been drinking a lot, you smoke a lot, you do this certain habit. It's not who you are, but it's become a part of you. It's become a part of your lifestyle. Now, this whole part of your lifestyle has to change. It has to be removed. My favorite football coach, Mike Tomlin, he has this saying with his players. He says, the boy has to die so the man can live. And what that means to me when I hear him say that is these old habits have to die so there's room for the new habits to take root. The old lifestyle has to die so there's room for the new lifestyle to exist and to breathe, right? And to grow. What I say is you need to step out of your own way because you know what you should be doing, but we shoot ourselves in the foot by saying, oh, I'm going to do this work, but let me just check my phone real quick. Let me check my emails and my text messages, or let me just check, Instagram or something real quick. It just goes down this whole rabbit hole, like I was saying before, where you just fall deep into the distraction and then you don't get anything done. You have to stop that. You have to be present. You have to be mindful. You have to be aware of, hey, this is something that I need to get done. This work, this workout, this task is something I need to get done. Let me just do it. And then I can relax afterwards. Then I can afterwards check my phone or check social media or whatever it is that you wanted to do instead. But we have to stop this self-sabotage because that's what that distraction, that escapism is. It's a form of self-sabotage. And you have to allow yourself to be who you are. When you're getting rid of these old habits and you're doing what you know you should do, you're not really creating a new version of you, but it's rather, I say it's not your new self, but it's your true self. It's the version of you that you naturally are without all the distractions, without all the escapism. What you naturally would be doing would be these healthy habits because that's what you want deep down. You want to live a healthy, productive lifestyle because it's going to feel better. You're going to get closer to your goals. And it takes hard work and a lot of effort and a lot of consistency to shed those layers of ego, shed those layers of fear, because the reason you haven't been doing it, you've been running from this sort of lifestyle because you've been perceiving it as difficult, because you need to step a little bit out of your comfort zone. And that's where the ego comes in, the mind making up all these lies. It's fear. Your mind is playing tricks on you. You know you should be doing something, but then you're believing all these lies in your head that, it's going to be so difficult, it's going to be super uncomfortable, and it does take a little bit of discomfort. So in order to protect you from that discomfort, your mind says, hey, wait, let's not do this. Let's just do this relaxing thing over here and not stay in our comfort zone. But in your comfort zone is not where you want to be. Everything you want out of life is outside of your comfort zone, because if it was within your comfort zone, you would already have it. And when I say step out of your own way, I have this book right here. It's called Be Water, My Friend. I don't know if you can see it. It's about the teachings of Bruce Lee, but it's written by his daughter, Shannon Lee. It's really, really good. I really like this book. I'm not done with it yet. I'm almost done with it. Got like a little bit left. But I just read this part this morning where she talks about how Bruce Lee had this thing where he says, you need to be the moon in the stream. So I'm just going to read this little 2 sentences here. It says, the waters are in motion all the time. The moon retains its serenity. The mind moves in response to the 10,000 situations, but remains ever the same. So basically it's like picture, a river, a stream or something, and then it's at night and there's a full moon kind of reflecting on it. Your true self, the real you at your core is the moon. And then everything else around you is your actions, the things that you're doing, the life around you, that's the stream. And so while all this stuff is moving and flowing, the moon, the reflection, you're just there. You're steady, right? The hurricane's all this air and water and all these things happening around it, but at the center, it's still, it's calm, the eye of the storm. And that's you. When you become more mindful and you realize, this is the life I want to live. This is the habits that I want to have. These are the types of things I want to be doing each day. That's you. That's the center. That calm center. And then when you step out of your own way, you're just allowing the stream to flow. You're not interrupting the flow of things. You're not waking up and interrupting your flow by going and scrolling on social media. You wake up, you sit there and you just allow it to happen. And then you, as you are, the core of who you are, remain steady as your body is just taking action. You're just getting up, you're brushing your teeth, you're using the bathroom, you're just doing all these things one after the other, and you're not thinking about it. You just get up and you start doing it. This process of shedding the layers of ego, of fear, of societal programming, it takes a long time. It's a lifelong journey, and it is going to be difficult. It is going to be uncomfortable, but it is worth it. I can promise you that it is worth it to get rid of all the old habits, get rid of all the old nonsense. And again, that comes from embracing being bored. That comes from embracing a life without distractions, without escapism, or at least minimizing that kind of thing. I'd say don't try and change everything at once. Don't try and get rid of every single thing you use as distraction all at once, but slowly taper off, slowly taper down, right? Slowly use your phone less and less, slowly go on social media less and less. You know, try and wake up and spend at least 1 minute before you go on your phone, at least 2 minutes before you go on your phone, 3 minutes, and then you see how it grows over time. And to the point where you wake up and you don't even want to go on your phone. You just want to be there present in the moment, in reality. And then from there, that flows into the next habit. It's like, okay, well, now I want to, do more. It's like you clean up your room, you clean up one corner of your room, and then it's like, well, I already cleaned up this one corner. Why don't I clean up this part and then that part and then that part? And before you know it, your whole room is clean, right? But you have to take action. This is the key right here. You have to just take action. You can't be thinking about it. You just got to do it, right? You got to be the moon in the stream. You got to just be there, calm, steady, and let everything just flow. Stop thinking about taking action and let your body just act. Let you just be. I'm trying to explain it in a way. It's a little bit out there, I guess, a little bit like esoteric, but it's like you are not your body. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the awareness behind them. So you know what you really want. And instead of, getting in your own way and overthinking and thinking, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. Just trust your intuition, trust your instincts. That's a better way to explain it. Trust your instincts and your intuition and be aware of what you're doing, but allow your body to just act. Allow your body to just take action. This is where mindfulness comes in. This is where being present and being aware of your surroundings and being aware of who you are comes in, because everything you want is in the present moment. I love this quote from Alan Watts. He said, "The purpose of life is found in the immediate moment." The purpose of life is right now. Everything you want is right now. All the goals that you're working towards, you have to work towards them right now. You can only ever work towards them right now. Allow yourself to just be and to just act and to do what you need to do right now. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Don't self-sabotage. Don't distract yourself, interrupt your own flow, right? If the river is flowing, don't get in there and start trying to block it or trying to redirect it. Just let it flow naturally. Let life flow naturally. As you, as the moon, as the reflection, as this core, this steady center, just be and just flow with it and just observe. Because imagine how fast you're actually going to create the reality that you want to live, the reality that's in line with who you are. Imagine how fast you're going to achieve your goals if you just stopped getting in your own way and you started taking action, right? If you got 1% better every day, then after a year, you got 365% better. Or if you just took one action, you just did one thing towards a certain goal every single day, then after a year, you're 365 steps ahead of a person who did absolutely nothing, or of the version of you that did absolutely nothing and just distracted themselves. But obviously, there's so many different topics that I could go into within this video about, productivity, about mindfulness. There's a lot that I will go into in future videos, but I'm kind of keeping things more general right now. If you only take one thing away from this video, the big takeaway I want you to have is just stop thinking and just start taking action. You know already what you want and what you need to do to get there. It's time for you to start acting, bro. It's time for you to start doing what you need to do. Instead of thinking about doing things, just actually do them. Just start taking action and let it build from there. Let it flow from there.